All right, we're rolling live from the wasteland. This is Freedom Phil here, and what's the topic? Apparently, the mayor of San Francisco got attacked. Now he thinks there's a crime problem. Yeah. Why is it so many of these Democrat cities? Because I don't hear this coming out of conservative cities. Why are so many Democrat cities plagued with crime? Incompetent leadership. Where am I going with this? It's Freedom Phil, like, subscribe, let's get into it, and hey, turn up the video speed. And why do I always say that? Because, dude, you're watching videos at regular speed, what are you doing? After I upload this, you'll be watching this at 1.75. The name of the channel is literally the instructions. Turn up the video speed. Like, subscribe, let's get into it. So I was watching some of the underground news, and they're showing this case where some crazy homeless guy, like, just ran up and randomly assaulted the mayor when he was on the street. And this is such a common occurrence, and they're showing cases where, you know, like some crazy homeless person that got let out for stabbing someone before, for murdered somebody, got out. Was the video of recent, like someone stabbing another person. And it's happened so often in these cities that people barely even flinch. They're like, oh shit, that's glad it's not me. Like, just randomly stab somebody. I think we need to have a conversation, and this is one of the problems with some of the policies of the Democrats. Legalizing all the drugs in these places has caused people to go overdose mode, and either they're fiending for drugs or now they're insane. And I'm a believer that mental illness is not an excuse. I don't want to hear some people say, oh, see, they're getting mental health. Sure, that's true. People do need mental health. But mental health or mental instability is not an excuse for fuck shit behavior. Because you see these people like a revolving door. And we talked about this just the other day. Democrats will release people on crime charges because it cooks the books. They massage the numbers. How many people got to get stabbed, assaulted, shot? It seems like you got to get to where you're potentially murdering somebody or raping somebody before the police in these Democrat cities will take it seriously. And you got a bunch of crazy-ass homeless people wandering the street. Why do you think I like being in the woods or the wasteland? I don't want to be around fucking people. You get people who see someone living in a van, and sometimes it won't even be like, you know, crazy homeless. It'll just be bored teenager be fucking with shit. Because they don't have any fear of consequences. And with these homeless people in these cities that are going crazy, well, how often is it that these people are catch and release? Like, they get a slap on the wrist. They go to jail for X amount of time, but then they're right back out on the streets 6 months later. No, I'm not surprised that the mayor got assaulted. But whose policies led to that situation being normalized? Whose policies raised the cost of living in those cities where housing is unaffordable, but living on the streets is subsidized via crazy checks? Whose policies, man? Show me the Republican city, the consistently conservative city where this is going on. This seems to be a uniquely Democrat problem. You might have some poor people living outside of towns, like hillbilly towns. I'm saying major metropolis. Show me a major metropolis that is conservative, that has these problems. Y'all don't hear me. And by the way, you want to be talking in the chat? Just hit that subscribe button. And after a minute, you're welcome to have a conversation. Because I only want to read people that are actually subscribers. Don't take it wrong. I ain't got nothing against you if you just want to watch. Well, I shouldn't have to be listening to you if you ain't a subscriber. Look at these Democrat cities. They're the reason that housing costs so much. They put all these rules and regulations. They make business to have an employee cost how much more in those cities. They raise the minimum wage, which then raises the cost of living. And they do it just to get votes. They subsidize people on welfare. They subsidize people on crazy checks that live on the streets. You have taken away any incentive for those people to be good, productive people by subsidizing them. And I don't say that to be a dick. I'm just telling you what the truth of it is. If you got to keep your shit together because you got a job and you're taking care of family, you ain't wilding out. If you got to keep a job and you can't be doing those crazy drugs, that keeps yourself together. Now, the Democrats for years, and by the way, there was a system of this. The reason there's so many people getting on crazy checks is because back in the day when they kicked all the homeless, not the homeless, but the insane asylum people out on the streets, they found it costs more to incarcerate somebody than it does to give them $1,000 a month and hopefully a little sliver of an apartment. Y'all don't hear me. Y'all don't hear me. You just look at the situation. You are subsidizing people to act insane. Now, I don't think mental illness is an excuse. I think we need to start being more real about this. If you're so crazy you can't function, maybe it's time you get evicted from your fucking meat suit. And you watch how sane people start getting. You're talking about kill. Yeah, someone's fucking nuttier, is nutty as fuck. And you don't got the money. Like, this isn't like, pet adoption. Adopt a homeless. Adopt this rabid homeless people. This rabid homeless person. We need someone to adopt. No, that ain't how it works. I think at some certain point, if somebody's out there, like, if they're stabbing and raping and doing crazy shit to people, if you're a foreigner illegal, I don't want to send you back. I want to send you to the fucking furnace. Oh, yeah, fuck you. You just killed or raped somebody and you're from another country? I ain't sending you home. I'm sending you to a body bag. You watch how normal people become when they're afraid of some consequences. We are slowly seeing what used to be beautiful gems of cities in America becoming like mini versions of what was going on in El Salvador. And you know what worked in El Salvador? They just they either shot them or rounded up all the criminals. And that country is going back to being a country because somebody finally had the balls just to say, fuck it, we're cleaning this up. We need affordable housing. Then we need to get the regulations to where you could build your own little tiny home. Like if you're out in the middle of nowhere like where I'm at, why the hell can't I build my house out of like old tires and stuff, pack them with dirt, and then put the stucco or the plaster on the outside? I'm telling you, on one side, you got people that are struggling on the streets. On the other side, you got the government subsidizing these people on the streets. And once people normalize, they get used to a way of life. I'm fucking proof positive of it. I outright own a house up north, and I'm looking forward to selling the motherfucker. Take that money and put it into the market and let it make me money. Instead of having to pay fucking bills and shit. I've gotten happily used, where I'm out here, and I've got my van, I got my power, I got my refrigerator, I got 69 channels on the TV for free. I got my internet, got a dog. I got everything I want. Now, if I can get used to I like this better than what I was doing before. I don't like living in my house. You better believe there's some people living in tents on the West Coast, particularly because it never gets cold enough to kill you on the West Coast. Even in Western Washington, it might get chilly, but you just got to have the right bags and, what do you call it, an emergency blanket. You'll be absolutely fine. So once a person gets used to that lifestyle, maybe they got their own little tribe of homeless people. They keep it clean and they always have someone standing guard over the camp, make sure people don't come and fuck up their shit. Once people get used to that lifestyle and they're getting money and they're getting money and spending it on drugs, they ain't going to change unless you force them to change. And when you get some of those people that have done fucked up their brains from doing too many heavy drugs and now they're insane, what do you do with these people? What do you do with these people? I don't give a shit if Elon Musk pays taxes. That ain't the problem. Stay on point. What the fuck what does Elon Musk matter about this? It ain't Elon Musk's fault that the state of California, the state of Washington, the state of Oregon, and every other blue state doesn't know how to fucking build some housing and actually put some criminals behind jail. Like, I'm telling you, if you're so insane that you're stabbing people, you don't need to be around. I'm just saying it. We as a people need to get back to something to where, you know, where the people can walk down the streets at night. Like, look what happened when Donald Trump cleaned up D.C. For the first time in ages, and a lot of black folks were talking about this. They're like, this is the first time I could just drive down the street with my car windows open at night. This is the first time, you know, we could actually have something. No. One second. Let me get rid of this motherfucker here. Get the fuck out. Just because you're a subscriber don't mean I'm going to put up with your shit. Act like a dumb jackass. See, that's the problem. We got people in the chat, people in society, all acting crazy. All acting like stupid children. And you know why they act like stupid children? Because we reward them for it. Oh, that's funny. Like, you see cases where black people be trying to punk on white people. You'll go running around playing the knockout game. Imagine if the knockout game came with someone after they fucking punched you pulling out a gun and blasting their fucking ass. And that would be righteous. You don't run up and assault somebody. You deserve to be put down. Oh, but you know, they're mentally ill or they're just kids doing. They would be a lot smarter if they understood. Like, you know how people say, you wouldn't fuck with a lion or a tiger. You wouldn't try that shit. Why? Because it fights back. We live in a society that has taught people to be passive and weak. And we're actually punished for defending ourselves. Now, the mayor of San Francisco, motherfucker looks like Joxer the Mighty. He got assaulted, so now he's got a problem with crime. Well, how many of your DAs were letting out people on the regular? By the way, if you want to chat, you just got to be a subscriber. But if you start saying some sucking stupid shit, you start being a jackass, then you just got to go. I don't play. You can just sit there in the timeout box and you can watch. But this guy's starting to get serious about crime. If you were serious about keeping things in order 20, 30 years ago, you wouldn't be dealing with this drug-addled, homeless crime epidemic in these cities. If you did something about affordable housing 20, 30 years ago, by the way, I had a conversation with someone about Iran the other day, and they're like, what does Iran have to do anything with America, blah, 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 blah. Let me tell you something. You're not doing what you're doing today because it's today. You're doing something so in the future we don't have to deal with fucked up shit. You're taking out a terrorist today so they don't fund more terrorism that'll be on your streets tomorrow. They're not blowing themselves up or doing trucks of peace. And the same thing goes with infrastructure. California knew they needed more water. They could have built desalination plants. They could have built like modern clean nuclear. More solar. They could have done all this shit years ago, but they've been riding off an infrastructure that's been around basically before it was a Democrat state. Now, mind you, they have improved some things here and there, but they're just coasting on failing infrastructure, overpriced housing, a tech sector. This problem was allowed to happen. They get in there. They vote themselves in. Then they make a supermajority and guarantee they'll have the state for pretty much forever. Then they start chasing off their high taxpayers. Like, why the fuck, if I was Elon Musk or Joe Rogan or anybody that has their shit together, why the hell would I stay in a blue state? How are you rewarding me for staying in a blue state? What, I got to pay 11% taxes? State income? And then how high are your capital gains? I wonder why they moved to Texas or Florida. So the people you need to keep your state going you're chasing off. And the people that are doing the most fuck shit on the street, mentally ill drug addicts, you're subsidizing that. Now, if you want to talk shit about Republicans, there's some shit to be said. But let's just be real about it. How many decades have the Democrats ruled San Francisco, LA, San Diego, California in general, Oregon, Washington, New York, Chirac, Detroit? Murder City, America. It ain't Motor City, it's Murder City. No, you are seeing the outcome of their policies. The collapse is intended. They have no interest in fixing these problems because they'll just go back to their gated communities. When you go to the store and you got to wait to have someone open it up so you can get some cologne or some underwear, fucking underwear, so you could get underwear behind a case. The whole goddamn Walmart's basically behind a case, with the exception of water. The Walgreens is pulling up. The Safeway that was there for decades shuts down because they're like, we can't afford the theft anymore. The crime and the theft. And these politicians have the nerve to attack the business people. And the business people are like, if you just do something about this fucking crime, we'd still be here. No, the Democrat policies are working as intended. They are chasing off inventors, entrepreneurs, regular working class people, whether it's Republican or Democrat. The people are moving somewhere else because they are sick of paying taxes for crime-ridden streets. So now that the mayor got assaulted, and I bet they're not going to catch and release that guy. I bet that guy's going to get real time. Unlike you, when it happens to you, catch and release, the mental illness, just take your pills. Mental illness is not an excuse for fuck shit behavior. Just like poverty is not an excuse for fuck shit behavior. Everything that's happening in these blue cities is by design. It's just now affecting some up Democrats. So now they got a problem. Yeah. This is Freedom Phil. I'll take it easy. Peace.